Hi there, it's Sandy, your sister and your friend. Welcome to today's video. I'm not a trained therapist, I'm not an engineer, a physicist, or any of those occupational groups, but I am a child of God just like you are, and we're all connected to one another. And because we're connected, when one of us has an experience, it's very possible that we can all learn from each other's experiences if we want to do that. So today I'm just going to share an experience that I had with you. When I first heard somebody say that everything is energy, it was kind of mind-blowing for me that my thoughts are energy, my feelings are energy, everything is energy, and energy has different vibrational rates depending on what that thing is. For instance, the emotions of love and peace and joy and happiness, those vibrate at a very high frequency level. And it's in those frequencies of those type of emotions where we experience God. And we know what those emotions, those feelings, what they are like. We know when we have felt them, that the joy and the bliss that we may experience during those times. Now, other emotions such as anger or fear or hate or frustration or anxiety, those carry low vibrational energies are associated with those. And we also, unfortunately, know what those feel like as well. Now, here's the cool thing about me realizing that these things were all energy, is that I felt somehow like this made my process of letting go easier. Somehow it became, because it was happening in the divine energy field, it felt less personal. I was personally not judging myself so harshly as I had been before, when I felt like I should have been able to handle all that stuff that I stored inside of me, when I really just wasn't able to when I was a child. So this kind of freed me up to realize that, hey, this is just energy work, and if something is happening in front of me, the divine energy field, the universe, God, has brought this into my life because it knows that I'm able to handle this now. I wasn't able to handle it before, but now this energy work is something that I'm able to do, because I can now touch those energies and hand them over to the Holy Spirit, let them come up, hand them over to the Holy Spirit, who does the work to transform them into love. Now, so this means that everything that's happening, that's unfolding in front of me, I now see it all as working for my good. I don't see it now as like, oh my gosh, this is a terrible thing that's happening. No, this is the universe giving me the opportunity to look at something that's happening in front of me and free myself up from something that's similar to that. So I might talk to, say, let's just say something happens that I might have perceived as negative, and something is going on. So I say, oh, come on in, low vibrational energy, come on in, have a seat. You're welcome here, because I know that you have come to help me look at something, find something. You've actually come to be here as my assistant. You've come to collect something that doesn't belong. I don't align with this anymore, and you've come to help me realize that this thing I've stored is no longer in alignment with who I know myself to be. And I want this thing to be released so that it can be transformed into love. Now, because I know that I am one with my Creator, I don't have to do this as an angry person. I can do this from a position of being unconditional love. This thing got stored when I was a little kid, and I didn't know any better. So if I look for it with the eyes of love, I can coax it to come out from under the covers where it's probably been hiding ever since I put it there as a little child. Now I can love it to come out and to be exposed into the light, into the Holy Spirit's love, and it gets transformed. this is now becomes a loving experience that I'm engaged with, not in something that's harsh and mean. And so I can just, as this thing is happening, in this new thing, I can look and say, well, what does this remind me of? What does this feel like? Something that I've experienced a long time ago. And those things, what my experience has been thus far is when I love it and I look for it in with those type of emotion towards it, it's always coming out. Now, I may have a name for it. I may not have a name for it. It may be one event. It may be a series of events. But these things do come up, and I pass them over to the Holy Spirit, who does the transformation. And the reason that that I know I can do this now is that I know who I am. I didn't know who I was when I was a little kid. I didn't know I was strong and powerful, but now I know that I am. And I'm able and willing to look at these things and feel these emotions one more time so that they can come up fully and I can release them. Now, if I stored these things with tears, it's quite possible, more likely probable, that they'll come up with tears. But that's part of my purification process. And as this purification goes on and the love is transformed, I can feel my heart expand as this thing's getting transformed within me. And now that love energy, I can feel it flowing through me out into the world. And so I can look at this energy that I stored as a kid or as whenever it happened. And I can also look at this thing that's just unfolding in front of me. And I can thank both of them for showing up, for doing the work to help me, to help the new one to help free me up from the old one, and the old one for being there whenever I needed it a long time ago. I can thank them. They're both transformed into love, and I can bless them as they go out into the world. Now, one really important thing that I've learned through going through this process, and this is not just one time that I've done this, I do this quite often, but I've learned that there's nothing that I have stored inside of me that actually has any real power over me. It only has the power that I've given to it by believing something about myself that's not true. So as I realize, as I let these things go, and I know that because if I can release them just by changing my mind about them, if that's all that it took, then there was no real power there other than the power I gave to it. Now, if I am looking for this to be a permanent change, which of course I am, and I'm sure you are as well, I just need to be the noticer. I just need to, anytime I feel just a little tweak that my happiness gets just off just a tiny little bit, I just need to notice that. And then all of a sudden I start with the process of welcoming, accepting, and loving. And this is just an ongoing process. And things are just coming up, letting go. That happens very quickly because I've practiced this so often. And because we share one divine life, anytime any of us are willing to do this work, it transforms all of us. So this energy transformation actually helps to release all of us from the things that we have stored up. And if we're all willing to do the work, I know that you're willing to release me and give me the freedom that I'm looking for, and I'm willing to do the work to release you to give the freedom that you're looking for. And this is how we set all the captives free. Oh, isn't that awesome? Love you so much. Go and be blessed today for the rest of the day. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love if you would. Leave me a comment, hit the like button. I love being in God's family with you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.